Crusaders and campaigners, the day is strange and full of horrors. From the cabin of Matilda, I bid you rise with the morning thunder. 012. On distorted perception and rebuilt agency. Your brain is lying to you again. This time, about probabilities. Now hear this. I am the one experiencing life, not acting as a puppet for life to experience pain through. Creator Captain Isaac Lester. Situation report. Yesterday you performed the audit. You mapped your circles. You identified who belongs in the circle of trust, who lingers in the triangle of suspicion, who gets maintained distance from in the rhombus of doubt, and most importantly, who falls outside all shapes entirely. Some of you have discovered your circle of trust is smaller than you thought. Some of you realized people you'd placed at the center have never actually earned that proximity. And some of you are now staring at a suddenly empty room, wondering if you've made a mistake. You didn't. But your brain is about to lie to you about what emptiness really means. My friends, it is Tuesday, December 16th, in the year of our shared crisis before the comeback, 2025. Good day to you. I bring you thunder. Are you with me? Think of this week like a classroom. Monday, I provided instruction and set you to work independently. You began running the people in your life through the filters. Now you've approached the inevitable wall. Here is the sacred moment where the work gets heavy and the doubt creeps in. This is where the teacher provides a statement or two for monumental insight, so here it is. The net may have been rotten, but it was still holding. Now there is none, and that terrifies you. I understand. But the terror is a distortion. Your brain is lying about probabilities. Recent pain feels permanent. Recent emptiness feels like prophecy. It isn't. You are between chapters, and between chapters there is always darkness, always silence, always the compressed moment of time where the old story has ended and the new one hasn't yet begun. This is not abandonment, this is the exam, and the instructor is always silent during the test. I offer you frameworks for chaos, awareness, reconstruction. Number 4, the availability heuristic. And keep in mind that recent and vivid events feel more probable than they actually are. Your brain is a pattern recognition machine optimized for survival, not accuracy. When something painful happens, your brain flags it as high priority and begins scanning for similar threats everywhere. When something wonderful happens, your brain assumes the good times will continue indefinitely. Take care and great caution, my friends. Do not be deceived. Both are lies. The distortions. One bad relationship, all relationships are toxic. One good month, I've figured everything out. One failure, I always fail. One success, success is easy now. The truth. This hell will last forever. I claim falsehood. This paradise is the final level. I say again, falsehood. A season of challenge may extend if you don't learn the lesson. It may intensify, repeat in other forms, iterate across your life until you finally adapt, but it will not last forever. Seasons turn. And surely, you are not the kind to repeat the same actions hoping for changed results. You're smarter than that. A season of success may be cut short if you are unwilling to do the maintenance work. You cannot buy your way into a new lifestyle without equipping yourself for its challenges. But success doesn't evaporate because you had one bad week. Recognition prevents catastrophic decisions. After Monday's audit, your brain wants to tell you stories. You've pushed everyone away. You'll always be alone. The emptiness proves you're broken. These are not insights, they are distortions. Recent events, such as the audit, the culling, the sudden quiet of entering into the chrysalis, can feel like permanent prophecy because they're vivid and immediate. They are not your future. They are your present. And the present is not a prison. It is a passage. It is an opportunity. For all the scars they gave me, were it not for my struggles, my best estimate is that I'd be fat, working a 9 to 5, and living somewhere in Wisconsin, with a partner and a child that I likely would not be able to afford. See the present and all challenges you currently wrestle with as they are. Their universe-sent gifts. The space between chapters is potential. Can you imagine a life vastly different from the one you're currently living? Think about it for a moment. I've found with most people I speak to that they are only truly a few decisions removed from realizing that radically different life. A single conversation, a single business move, leaving solitude to find a partner, rekindling passion with the partner you have, removing a negative influence, deciding to stop negatively influencing one's self. I could write a book about how dramatically different my life is now that I drink water over whiskey. Thinking back, in the heat of the moment, I felt empowered by past accomplishments to make that radical decision. Leave everything behind and start over from a sailboat, long-term goal within reach. Several decades early under wildly unforeseen and unfavorable circumstances, but within reach. I saved, slaved, sold, and collected a few grand, devised a general strategy, and made the before unthinkable happen with shocking ease. I was so high on adrenaline and passion that I could see the curvature of the earth. I felt I would never experience the weight of the world again. When I arrived and moved on board, I was so consumed by peace and disbelief that I never even bothered to make sure the vessel was in working order. When it all fell apart, when I was forced to travel across the country again, to crash with someone else again, to start over again, I was precious millimeters from total mental collapse. I felt wholly abandoned by God. The creeping darkness inched in to claim my soft and weak body again for the cold and endless void. More setbacks, more struggles. Then, after yet another disaster, I decided I am no longer going to allow life to have its way with me. I am the one experiencing life, not acting as a puppet for life to experience pain through. Now, I've reestablished myself on solid, floating fiberglass. I pick up where I left off, with a new mindset operating system. And I understand something that I didn't before. The instructor is always silent during the test. I was not abandoned. I was being given an opportunity to show up and show out on the stage of life. I stumbled, as we all do. I recovered, as we all must. Remember that no one cares about what you want, and the only way to make something happen is to make it a top priority in life. You will find a way to be present when the universe aligns to give you what you must have, yes? Challenges come in seasons, and it is a blessing to have new problems as a new day is shocked to meet us already well underway on our paths to personal excellence, as we campaign against the chaos of the modern day, as we crusade across our very minds, rooting out the pity and disgust and the anguish of apathy, as we rise with the morning thunder and install a new mindset operating system. This is progress. This is the way forward. I offer you Framework 15, the Agency Reconstruction System. Keep in mind that you can't execute when you don't believe you can execute. If you found yourself isolated, lonely, or in a season of challenge after Monday's audit, I would have you remember there exists a compressed moment of time between every chapter of any story. The loneliness, the self-doubt, the sparring sessions against the spicy sadness, they exist in different degrees for different people based on their personal paths. But they exist for everyone who dares to change. When has greatness ever been achieved without a season of challenge? How could anyone expect lasting change without undergoing total mental reconditioning and a complete rebuild of their worldview? You were made for such a time as this. Your DNA holds the fabric to weather all storms, deconstruct all obstacles, and literally run down all goals. The challenges you face today do not have the power to break you. Whether you stand at the remains of a shattered life, drift in the void praying for a way out, or sit so deep in a hole you dug that warmth itself has left you, these failures will fuel your future. These setbacks will become stepping stones. These trials will become your triumphs. But first, you must rebuild belief in your own agency. After collapse, your confidence in your own capability is shattered. Motivation doesn't fix this. Inspiration doesn't fix this. Only evidence fixes this. The protocol is simple. Set embarrassingly small targets. Make your bed. Walk for 10 minutes. Drink water before coffee. Complete them with precision. Not mostly done. Done. Document the completion. Write it down. Timestamp it. Stack slightly larger targets. Yesterday's ceiling becomes today's floor. Reference past wins when setting new targets. Your brain needs receipts. For the doubtful, the mindset magic explained. Your brain needs new evidence that you're capable. Past you has lost favor and now stands discredited at court. That version failed, collapsed, and landed you in the void. New you needs fresh proof. Micro wins rebuild the belief engine one receipt at a time. I embarrassed myself greatly with poor work on a public stage once. I bled on the crowd and desperately cried for help through the guise of lyrical lines, a biohazard of emotion, an outpour of trauma, a fever dream of the original definition. But I practiced my comeback strategy piously, and much time was spent studying speech. I learned that there were basics, and from there an entire world opened itself to me, intimately. Hours of podcasts, breaking down cadence, books on flowing from topic to topic like a dancer. I was trained in the dark arts and took to the streets in the garb of the recruiter. When the lockdowns descended upon us, I descended upon the phones, where Marines were first contacted and inspired to enlist into our most beloved and illustrious corps of colored pencil chewers. In the off chance there happens to be a Schenectady Spartan among you here today, know that I have loved you more than my own flesh and blood. I have prayed for your safety. I have thought about you constantly. And despite the hell I have traveled through to speak to you today, I can proudly state that I still have our flag. Semper Fidelis. Sprint through the muck, finish. Hats tipped low and cups up high to the most resilient. Forever. Contrary to popular belief, the modern devil dog is quite the nuanced and opinionated creature, preferring only the finest pigment sticks, specifically those of the Crayola brand, which initiate both mating cycles and mayhem sprees. I learned how to speak mo betterer. Convincingly too, apparently. Check my lyrical lexicon of verbal voodoo and be amazed. Oh, dare I say vexed even. The point. I accepted radical and only marginally realistic delusion as a baseline personality trait long ago. I have no problems connecting my success in overcoming the challenge of articulation with becoming a skilled sailor, content creator, and master of all things I claim within my defined but vague limits of rogue studies. If I can imagine it in my mind, there is a path to travel me there. I must only find it and work backwards. Speak that out loud. Again, mean it. Your campaign orders are as follow. For the next 72 hours, you are not allowed to evaluate your future. No grand assessments, no sweeping conclusions about where this is all going, no extrapolating from present emptiness to permanent isolation. Your brain is lying about probabilities. We're going to starve the lie and feed the truth. The assignment is simple. You will write down the last 3 events distorting your sense of probability. What recent pain feels permanent? What recent win feels like you've figured it all out? Name these distortions. You will identify one micro action that proves your agency today, not a life-changing decision. A small, completable task that demonstrates you can still move. You will complete it before the change of guard at nightfall. Document it. Timestamp it. Generate a receipt. Bring it tomorrow and share with class your effortless success and monumental deeds, and we will congratulate you with warmth. Delusion feeds delusion. Better the positive sort than the garbage currently running laps around our feeds, yes? Do not extrapolate meaning beyond that completion. The task is not a metaphor, it is a sign. It's proof. That's all. Your job is not to decide where this chapter goes. Your job is to prove you can still move. Bear witness and practice piously. Remember the successes you've gained as an independent and conscious human being, endowed with free will. You have overcome before. You have adapted before. You have emerged before. You were made for such a time as this. The version of you reading this has a 100% survival rate for your worst and darkest of days. Every single one of them. You're still here. That's everything you need. Reconnect with your agency, one micro win at a time. One receipt at a time. One proof of movement at a time. The space between chapters is dark, but it's not endless. The horrors may be unrelenting, but so are we. The next chapter is coming, and I would have you face it eager and prepared. Transmission end. Recognize the cognitive distortion. Your brain is lying about probabilities. Recent pain feels permanent. Recent emptiness feels prophetic. Neither is true. Make decisions from data, not emotion. Stack evidence of your own capability. Prove that you can still move. And remember, the instructor is always silent during the test. That doesn't mean you've been abandoned. It means you've been given the opportunity to show what you're made of. So show up and by God, show out. Progress wears many disguises. Sometimes it looks like an empty room. Sometimes it looks like you making your bed. Both count. I am building a cult of builders. The revolution will be uploaded to YouTube. Lux ex tenebris means light from darkness. Per aspera ad astra means through hardships to the gory damn stars, and we will get there together. Isaac.